Hey everybody out there, so today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck update that I've been looking forward to profiling for you guys, and that is my Ultimate Insect deck. Now this deck is a really fun deck to play. It's definitely pretty good overall with some new support that recently came out. We finally got the complete support for the Shining Black Sea Squadron, which pretty much came out of Ignister Assault, which helped complete the deck so you can do plays with Giant Ballpark. With this combination, the deck I definitely could say is definitely more playable than it was the last time I profiled this deck about 2 years ago. Is it a meta deck? No. Is it a fun deck you can take to locals and play against tier 2 decks and do good? Yeah, definitely. I think it definitely has that potential. Now, you may be asking, is this deck pretty much updated for the new Master Rule? Yeah, I pretty much wouldn't change anything out of here unless there was, maybe some new cards that came out. Or the ban list hits some card in the deck, which I highly doubt, you know what I mean? So this deck is pretty much good for the future. But yes, guys, let's get into the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth deck profile. And no, this is not a Duel Links deck. I just have a Weevil Underwood here because, this is pretty much his deck. So one Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. This guy is very fun to run in the deck. We run it for the memes. We run it for the memes because the memes are everything. So this card is easily brought out through Super Cocoon of Evolution. Now, you don't have to run it in the deck. I'm going to be honest with you right now. You don't have to run it. It is fun to run in the deck. It's awesome. It's a 35 insect beat stick, but you don't have to run it. But I definitely would highly run 3 Metamorphosis Insect Queen, which is pretty much the boss monster of the deck. This card is definitely a 3-of on the deck, I would say, hands down. Now, I've seen people run different ratios. I've seen people run the ratio that I'm doing. I've seen people run no Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth and just 3 Perfectly Moth, Insect Queens. I've seen people run just 2, and that's all. It's up to you. You can easily get these bad boys out. This one mainly through Super Cocoon of Evolution, but this one you can bring out Mutate Insect Queen through multiple different ways, which we're going to discuss more in depth about here shortly. But definitely run some type of ratio. Like I said, you could run Great Moth if you want to, but we have to run the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Yeah, bad jokes, whatever. But yeah, that's what I run here. That's why we call it the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth deck. Next up, we run 2 Doom Dozer in the deck. Doom Dozer is great in the deck, but there is another card you could run. I think it's called Ancient something. Not Ancient something, but it's called Ancient, and I forget the rest of the name. But I think it's a level 5 insect, 1,900 attack. You can banish 1 insect monster to special summon it. That card you could run in the deck, and I have seen people run that in the past. Me, personally, I like Doom Dozer. It's a bigger body. You can mill cards from your opponent's deck, which is cool and decent, but mainly it's because it's a bigger body, and you can do things with it. But that's up to you to decide which one you would prefer to run. Doom Dozer, I find that it's not that hard to get 2 insects in graveyard to do it. And Doom Dozer also works well with the next card we're going to talk about here in a second, Resonator Insect, which is very essential into the deck and different ways you can use it. But I like Doom Dozer, but like I said, you could run something else if you wanted to. Now, Resonator Insect is very useful into the deck and the different things that it can do, which I'll read very quickly if you don't know. If this card is sent to the field from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 5 or higher insect monster from your deck. That's cool. Secondly, if this card is banished, you can send 1 insect monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Resonator Insect. Okay, that's good. That actually is really good. It has 2 great effects. So say this card is on the field, it dies. You get to search out this. You get to search out Premature Butterfly, which is another card combo we'll talk about here a little bit more in a second. But you can search out some of these key pieces you see here. In addition to that, it works with Doom Dozer because say this is in graveyard, which it probably is. So this is engraved. You search this out. Okay, cool. You banish this. You get to send another insect from the deck to the graveyard. You get maybe an effect off. Set it up for another play perhaps. You get how this is working here. Next up, Primitive Butterfly. Now, people don't run this card as much in the deck, but I literally say that I'm the one that made this deck because nobody ran this card and figured out how to use this card before I did. So, what does Primitive Butterfly do? Pretty much, it's Cyber Dragon. Alright? That's pretty much what you need to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can activate its effect to have all insect monsters on the field gain 1 level. That's cute. Mainly I care about the Cyber Dragon effect and the ability to increase its own level. Reason for that is because it works with a card called, if you guys played Insectors back in the day, you'll know this card, Insect Imitation. This card works with this to bring out other cards from your deck. Mainly this card. Because Insect Imitation, if you guys don't know what it says offer one monster on your side of the field as a tribute. Select one insect monster from your deck that is one level higher. Alright, so this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can bring these two cards, bring this out from your deck. Bring this out, which is nice. So that's why I like this combo here, and that's why it's good in the deck. And it's also just good for other things as well, just basic link plays and things of that nature. So, useful. I got the hollow variation because I love this card, and that's Parasite Paranoid. This card's amazing. It works with Super Cocoon of Evolution. I mean, there's not much more to say about this card. You can actually search it out fairly easy now in the deck, but it's a definite staple 3 of in the deck. And yeah, I got the speed duel ones because I just wanted it. I wanted to hollow this card out because I've always liked this card in the artwork. But yes, 3 Parasite Paranoid, definitely a 3 of in the deck, hands down. Next we run 3 Keepo. This card is pretty dang good actually overall. It helps you search stuff. In addition to that, what it works with is it also works with Giant Ballpark, which is very nice. So very overall, you run 3 Keepo in your deck. So that's pretty straightforward, especially for the Giant Ballpark build of the deck. Next we run 3 Shining Black Sea. I have literally been waiting to re-update this deck profile just because I was waiting for this card to come out. Because it didn't come out because I think it was like some jump promo thing. It was a hollow jump promo back a couple years ago. And I was like, okay, well, I could do Insect Knight, but I really want this card so I can show the best way to build the deck. And finally it came out. So, saying that, you run 3 of it. It works with Giant Ballpark. It's a 2000 beater that can get around things if need be. But you run it in the deck, hands down. Next we run 3 Pinch Hopper. Now I'm going to mention this about Pinch Hopper. He does miss timing. Do keep that in mind. Pinch Hopper does miss timing, but he's just so decent in the deck and so pretty good actually overall. What Pinch Hopper does is if he's destroyed, you get to special summon an insect monster from your deck. So say you have Pinch Hopper and you also have this in your hand. Okay, this in hand equals this on the field. Pretty straightforward, and it doesn't just work for multiple, Muta Insect Queen. It can work for any of your insects. Some things I've liked to do is say I have this, and I have Resonator Insect on the field, and my opponent's trying to swarm the field and do a bunch of damage. Okay, Pinch Hopper gets destroyed. Special summon this out. This gets destroyed. Search out Doom Dozer. Banish this and this from graveyard on my turn. Get a search off by maybe sending Keepo to the graveyard or something like that. Or some other card if you need to, and then you have a Doom Dozer on the field, another card in your hand you can search out. So you see these combo plays that Pinch Hopper initiates. It kind of gives a little bit of a swarming ability. People don't like it because it does miss timing, but I still like it in the deck because it's very useful. So 3 Pinch Hopper in the deck I feel works out pretty well. Next up I run 1 Beetron. This card is something you could run. You don't have to run. It's just kind of think of it kind of like a pseudo coach soldier wolf bark. If you have a situation where maybe you have a dead Verdant Sanctuary on the field, well, you can pop it, bring out another insect monster, go for a level 4 Exceed play. It's just a level 4 Exceed play paymaker that's searchable that I like as a one of in the deck. Some people run multiple, but I just like 1 Beetron in the deck. Super Cocoon of Evolution, we talked about this card. This card's gone up in price since I initially brought these a couple years ago, but I would definitely run this as a 3 of in the deck, hands down. Essential to how the deck functions. In addition to that, we run the field spell we were discussing about earlier, which is Giant Ballpark and 1 Terraforming. Some people like running Metaverse because they make their deck mainly around the vanilla insect monsters for that reason. And if you're going down that route and not going like with this hybrid I made, and more like, okay, I'm going to run Insect Knight, I'm going to run this and that, then yeah, you could maybe run Metaverse if you're more reliant on Giant Ballpark. But for me, I'm trying to go for these big insect monsters and bring them out as quickly as possible, with also having the ability to use the card Giant Ballpark, which is very decent, I feel like, insect support to use with Keepo. So saying that, this is just the ratio I like running for the field spell. Next we run 3 Insect Imitation. Like I said, this works with multiple things in your deck, especially the Primitive Butterfly, which is easily searchable to some degree. So I definitely like it as a 3 of in the deck at the end of the day. 3 Verdant Sanctuary. This is another Searcher-esque card for the deck. I like it. You don't have to run it, but it works for me. And lastly, 1 Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn for Pete's sake, and you can reborn a lot of your insects and do different combo plays. And one thing I'm still running in the deck, even though it's not the greatest card, I mean, you could cut it for other things, is 1 Corrosive Scales. Some people don't like this card still as a 1-of, some people don't. I like it. It's actually not a bad card. Like, initially when I was rebuilding this deck, I was like, oh, I'm going to cut this card. And then I read it, and I was like, that's pretty decent. And I was looking at, what cards to fill out of my deck. I was like, okay, I don't have space for these cards and this deck, package I want to put in the deck. I was like, Corrosive Scales is not a bad card. So at the end of the day, I'm keeping it in the deck, but you could run something else if you like to. Extra deck. We run our 1 Weevil Underwood card, because, this is a Weevil Underwood deck, kind of. 1 Castell, 1 number 60, 1 Bagasucha, which I'll put down here, the Sleepy Tapir, Tornado Dragon, Exciton Knight, Utopia package, and then let's go into the Link monsters. All Mirage, double Insector card, the Link one. Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn. In addition to that, we also run 1 Bull Sword and 1 the Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. Just because you can go. I have gone into this a couple times. Fairly often, actually, when you start playing the deck more, you'll see how easy it is to go into this, actually. And it's a decent card, so why not run it? But yeah, that is the extra deck for you guys. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. All Mirage is very nice as well in the deck. Definitely run that in the deck. That's something I've been playtesting more and more, and I really like it. But overall, you're pretty much just going for rank 4 plays, Link plays, and just basic stuff like that. Like, there's nothing super crazy about this deck and what it, how it's going to do these extra deck plays. But it's a fun deck to play. Like, hands down, I love this deck to pieces because it's just such a fun deck to play around with and just enjoy, actually, overall, at the end of the day. Like, it's such a cool deck. Like, it's so fun. It's a Weevil Underwood deck. Like, awesome. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you. And I'll see all of you guys next time. Take care, everybody.